In a time where pharaohs ruled Egypt with an iron fist, a child was born under the most dire of circumstances. Moses, as he would later be known, entered a world filled with oppression and fear. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. A cruel decree had been issued by the pharaoh, ordering the death of all newborn Hebrew boys, an attempt to suppress the burgeoning Hebrew population. Yet in the face of this terror, Moses' mother made a choice of hope over despair. She crafted a small basket, a tiny ark, and placed her child within it, setting him adrift on the Nile's unforgiving waters. Fate intervened when the pharaoh's daughter discovered the basket, taking the infant Moses as her own and raising him as a prince of Egypt. From humble beginnings, a leader arose, nurtured in the very heart of the power that sought to extinguish his people. Destiny, it seems, had marked Moses for greatness from the very start. Raised in opulence, Moses' true calling was yet to awaken. Swaddled in the luxuries of the Egyptian court, Moses was oblivious to his true lineage. But as destiny would have it, a moment of revelation was waiting around the corner. One day, he witnessed an Egyptian taskmaster tormenting a Hebrew slave. The sight stirred something within him, and in a fit of rage, he killed the taskmaster. Suddenly, Moses was confronted with his true identity, his heritage as a Hebrew. Fearing retribution, Moses fled to the land of Midian. It was here, amidst the solitude of the desert, that he had a divine encounter. A bush, ablaze yet unscathed, became the vessel for God's voice. In this extraordinary moment, Moses was chosen to deliver his people from bondage. He was no longer just Moses, the prince of Egypt. He was Moses, the prophet. Moses, the prince of Egypt, had now become a prophet. Armed with divine power, Moses returned to Egypt to challenge the pharaoh. Standing tall in the royal court, Moses demanded, "Let my people go." But the pharaoh, hardened with arrogance and pride, refused. In response, Moses unleashed the might of the divine. His staff, ordinary in appearance, transformed into a serpent, shocking the pharaoh and his courtiers. Yet the pharaoh's heart remained unmoved. And so the plagues began. Egypt was besieged by 10 calamities, each more terrible than the last. The waters of the Nile turned to blood, followed by an infestation of frogs. Lice and flies swarmed over the land, afflicting humans and animals alike. Disease struck livestock, boils plagued the people, and hailstorms destroyed the crops. Despite the terror and destruction, the stubborn pharaoh refused to free the Hebrews, until finally, the most dreadful plague of all descended upon Egypt, the death of every firstborn. Every household in Egypt mourned, including the pharaohs. The cries of grief echoed throughout the kingdom, a chilling reminder of the cost of the pharaoh's pride. In that moment, the pharaoh's resolve crumbled. He summoned Moses, and with a heavy heart granted him his demand. "Take your people and go." After the awe-inspiring miracle of the Red Sea's parting, Moses and his people found themselves on the other side, free from the tyranny of Pharaoh. Their hearts filled with gratitude, they took a moment to reflect on their incredible journey. The Hebrews, having witnessed the unimaginable, stood on the shores of freedom, their hearts pounding with a mix of relief, gratitude, and awe. They looked back at the sea, now tranquil, as if the turbulent parting had been but a dream. Yet the memory of the towering walls of water, held at bay by an unseen force, was etched deeply into their minds. Also, the fate of the Egyptian army, swept away when the sea's power was no longer contained, evoked awe in their hearts. They had been granted a second chance at life, a chance to live in freedom. Moses, their humble leader, stood silently among them, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon. His staff, the symbol of divine intervention, rested heavily in his hands. It was a moment of deep reflection, a moment to comprehend the magnitude of their journey and the divine intervention that had led them to freedom. As the sun started to set, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Moses finally broke the silence. His words, filled with wisdom and gratitude, echoed through the quiet evening air. "Our journey has been long and arduous, yet we have been guided and protected by a power greater than any pharaoh, any army, or any sea. We must never forget this day, the day when faith turned the impossible into the possible. As his words faded, the realization of their divine destiny started to sink in. They were not merely escapees, but a chosen people, destined to start a new chapter in the annals of history. Under the canvas of a star-studded sky, the liberated Hebrews huddled around their humble leader. Moses, with an air of solemnity, raised his staff, letting it catch the soft glow of the moonlight. As the first night of their freedom enveloped them, a profound sense of unity and anticipation filled the air. Moses, standing at the heart of his people, lifted his staff, symbolizing their divine protection and guidance. His voice, firm and resonant, echoed across the stillness. We have been chosen not just for freedom, but for a divine mission. We carry a covenant, a promise made to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our journey does not end with freedom, it begins with it. He paused, letting his words sink into the hearts of his people. Then, with a determined gaze, he continued, "We are destined to found a new nation, a beacon of hope and faith for all generations to come, a nation that will stand as a testament to the power of belief and the strength of the human spirit." As Moses' words faded into the night, a sense of purpose and resolution filled the hearts of the Hebrews. They were no longer a band of slaves, but a chosen people, embarking on a divine mission to establish the nation of Israel. The promise of a new dawn, a new beginning, was carried in their hearts as they settled down for the night, under the watchful eyes of 1,000,000 stars. Thank you for watching, and may the Creator bless you always.